Hello, in this one we are going to be taking a look at base plugins. Plugins are really useful for WordPress websites as what they essentially allow you to do is extend the functionality of your website by leveraging a tool, pretty much a tool you add onto your website and just plug it in, hence the name plugin, and these allow you to do some really cool things. So what I want to run you through is the best plugins that I recommend you install to ensure your website is as solid as possible. So what is the first plugin? The first plugin is a plugin called WordFence. WordFence is a security plugin. It's one of the best ones out there by far. It's got some really good features such as automatic daily scans of your website, and anytime it finds anything that may be of harm to your website, such as malicious code, it will highlight any potential issues to you right there in your WordPress dashboard for you then to investigate that and deal with the problem. WordFence has some really good features to help prevent bots and hackers from breaking into your website, which, believe me, happens way more than people actually realize. There are so many websites getting hacked, especially on WordPress, and the reason being is because people are installing so many different plugins that aren't coming from trusted and verified sources, and those plugins are actually owned by hackers. They can then get into your website, add all this malicious code, and sometimes even delete your website. Let's head over to my WordPress dashboard and I'll show you exactly how it works. So once you have the plugin installed, you should see it on the left menu right here, WordFence. If you give this a click, you'll see you have your dedicated dashboard right here for WordFence. You can see the percentage on your security scan as well. This is updated daily, as I was saying, and any notifications, anything wrong with your website is going to appear here. So at the moment, I have 2 notifications. One is one issue found in the most recent scan. If you want to find out what that is, you just simply go ahead and give it a click. It's most likely going to be related to a theme, and it is the theme 2022 needs an upgrade. So here they're just letting me know it's not that important. You know, it's set at medium level in terms of security. It's not high or urgent. It's just a theme pretty much needs to be updated. If you go back and look at what the other issue was, an update is available for this theme. So again, it's 2 notifications, but they're both related to the same thing. Another cool feature which WordFence has is a login security. So you won't be able to see it as I've grayed it out for this video. But behind this part right here is a QR code, and you can pretty much scan that, hook it up to your Authenticator app, and pretty much add 2-factor authentication to your website, which is drastically going to reduce the chances of people logging into your website. I don't know why, but for some reason people do not have 2-factor authentication set up on the important assets. Remember, a website is a digital asset. You want to protect it at all costs, and a great way to do that is by using the 2-factor authentication. So that is pretty much WordFence. There are lots of other options you can go through as well if you go into all options, but I won't go through all of them in this video as it's going to make the video too long. And WordFence also have a really good list of documentation, which I will link to in the resources, but pretty much it goes through the whole plugin from top to bottom. Although what I've shown you already is pretty much most important things that you need to be aware of. Going back to our PowerPoint slides, the next plugin I want to show you is called Table of Contents Plus. This is a really good plugin. Essentially, it helps you to create a content, like a list of contents at the start of your article. The reason why you want to have a table of contents as it results in a better user experience. If our users can find the content they need as quickly as possible, they are more likely to be happy and come back to our website later on in the future. Google uses a lot of these metrics to determine which site really has the best content, and that one is going to be the site that gets rewarded with high Google rankings. So the great thing about Table Contents Plus is that it does everything automatically. You don't have to sit there and create your table of contents manually one by one, adding in your headers. You literally install the plugin, set your rules, and it gets added by itself. So let me show you how that one works as well. So you'll go back into your WordPress dashboard, go to Settings, and then TOC Plus, which is Table of Contents Plus. That's where all your options are going to be. So I'll run you through what I typically have set up. I have the rule of only show the table of contents when there is 4 or more headings present on the page. It's just not really worth doing if you have anything less, I've found. I also make sure I have both post and page included. By default, it's only going to be page, so definitely go ahead and make sure you include post. That way you get all of these showing on your blog posts. The title of my table of contents, I just leave it as contents, but if you like that to say anything else, maybe table of contents, and feel free to go ahead and change that. I also have this box ticked right here, hide the table of contents initially, and this is because if the page loads and the content is expanded, it can sometimes push your content further down, which remember is the main focus of why that user is on the page. So if it's all condensed, that person can expand it if they wish to view a breakdown of the headings. The other thing I like to do as well is enable this feature right here, smooth scroll. So whenever you click on an item in the menu, instead of it just quickly jump into it like something really harsh like that, it will have a smooth scroll and take you to where you've clicked. So it's a nice little feature. And then finally, we have presentation. So this is obviously comes down to personal preference. I typically just go for white, as the majority of my websites are white. And to me, it just looks very clean, although I do know a lot of people also go for gray, which is actually the default. But that is the table of contents, and just for reference, this is how it looks. I just created a quick dummy page. I put in 4 different headers because remember, 4 was what we used as the rule. And you can see it's added this little content section right here automatically, and I can click show to expand it, and it will list out all of my headings, which in this instance, I've just gone for test, 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 and test. But you get the idea here. It's a really cool plugin. So moving on to the other plugins, the third one I recommend is called Updraft Plus. This is a website backup plugin, and the great thing about Updraft Plus is that you can back up your website to multiple places, such as Dropbox or even the Google Drive. They provide you with lots of different options, which is good, as we know a lot of people use different things, but pretty much this is a plugin you should be using if you want to back up your website. Now, a quick note on this, if you are using Cloudways as your hosting provider, then you probably do not need a backup plugin because Cloudways automatically backs up your website every day. So if you ever want to go back to a previous version, you just log into your Cloudways account and roll back your backup file. So again, just another benefit of using Cloudways, which is another reason why I recommended them at the start. The next plugin is called Short Pixel Image Optimizer, and as this pretty much sounds, it's an image compression plugin which helps optimize your images by compressing them, and this really helps the speed performance of your website, which is really important when it comes to SEO. Google is way less likely to rank your website if it's taking ages to load, as what does that do? Well, it results in a poor user experience, which is what we want to avoid at all cost. Just a note on Short Pixel Image Optimizer, make sure you back up your website first before installing and activating the plugin, as sometimes in rare cases, it can cause some issues to your website. The next plugin I recommend you have is probably one of the most important ones out there, which is Yoast SEO. So Yoast SEO is an SEO plugin. It is pretty much the SEO plugin of choice for me since I've started my whole SEO journey pretty much 8 or 9 years ago now. And what Yoast does is it helps you optimize your pages for higher visibility in Google. And as you can see from the image, there's over 5 million active installations. It's rated 5 stars by over 27,000 people. It's a really, really good plugin. It has a built-in sitemap feature as well, which is great, as you're about to find out later on in the course. So Yoast is my SEO plugin of choice. Now, just to clarify, an alternative solution to Yoast is a plugin called Rank Math, which is pretty much exactly the same as Yoast. I do know a lot of people prefer Rank Math to Yoast, but they pretty much do exactly the same thing. So it all comes down to personal preference. If you would rather use Rank Math, then that's not a problem whatsoever. Use what you are most comfortable with. I've been using Yoast for my whole SEO career. I've never had an issue ranking websites, so I just continue to use it. I guess you could say I'm kind of stuck in my ways. However, if a website ranks, it ranks. That is all I care about. The next plugin is called Breeze. Breeze is a website speed plugin, and what it does is it helps you make your site load faster. It does that in 2 different ways, which is number 1, it reduces bloated code by minifying your JavaScript and CSS, and it also has a built-in cache feature, which makes your website faster as well. Now, just a note on Breeze is that it works best with websites that are hosted on Cloudways. If you look at the image, you can see it's actually built by the team at Cloudways. So it's a really good fit if you are using Cloudways hosting. If you are, by the way, when you actually install your website, Breeze is going to be installed automatically and it's already going to be configured for pretty much optimal use. The great thing about Cloudways as well is that all the servers are typically really fast, so you shouldn't really have any speed issues if you're using Cloudways and have Breeze installed. However, if you are not using Cloudways for your hosting, then another great solution you can use is Auto Optimize. This is again a website speed plugin. It helps you make your site load faster, and it does this by reducing the bloated code. So this one doesn't have a built-in cache feature, so if you want to get the cache benefit as well and also make your website even more faster, you'll need to get another plugin in addition to that, which is called W3 Total Cache. It did initially used to be a dedicated cache plugin with the main focus of making your website faster, but they have expanded the features of the plugin and they now also offer the same process of minifying some of your files as well. However, you do that in the previous plugin, Auto Optimize, so make sure you don't go ahead and use this plugin to do that as well, as if you end up using two different tools to minify your JavaScript and CSS files, you can do a lot of damage to your website and actually even break it. So do be very careful with this, but pretty much it has a built-in cache feature, which is the main focus of what you should be using it for. I just wanted to add a quick note before I end this video. If all of this sounds a little bit confusing, caching, minifying JavaScript, CSS, that's because it is a very messy part of website speed optimization. If you don't have any experience with that, I highly recommend you just install them. Go for the basics and don't really play around with the options whatsoever, as I know so many people that have broken their websites. If you do get into any troubles and you do want some additional help, then I highly recommend that you hire a dedicated website speed optimization person and they can get everything set up for you as it should be, as it's going to vary based on what hosting solution you are using. But 9 times out of 10, you're pretty much going to install these plugins, activate them, set them up, and have no issues whatsoever. Just a small percentage of people may run into problems. So I just wanted to be upfront and transparent about that from the start. As like I said, it all depends on what hosting solution you are using. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Now it's over to you to go ahead and get these plugins installed on your site.